Welcome to R.W.Podcast. This your boy King Felix, and I know it's been a while, but life has its way of making people just have to take care of what's important. The detours in life. But this episode is going to be special. It's not going to be your typical episode. First, I'm out of my car, as you can see, and I'm at home chilling. Second, it's not about just all the things I usually talk about, just the negativity and the way to combat it. In my experience, I have a guest, and I have a real big special guest. And I don't know how many times we have gone through text messages and all types of other ways of communicating to try to get this happen, but we finally have it going, and I'm going to be happy to just talk to him not only about our hobbies and things that we love, like video games, anime, and manga, but we get to talk about our personal life and our professional life and just the great things that have happened throughout the past couple years. With that said, because I don't want to waste no more time, I don't want to go through all the craziness, I want to introduce my boy. I know him as TJ. Y'all gonna know him as Poseidon Magna, manga. What is a manga, and even more. What's going on, brother?
Hey yo, what's good, my boy Felix? King Felix in the house. What's good?
No, everything is great. Everything is great. How about yourself?
Ah man, I can't complain. I cannot complain. It's life is busy, which means life is good.
Definitely. So we're here.
Mm.
It's going. I seen everything. Okay, from
See that?
like I seen everything.
Yo.
Um, I'm
Ugh.
I'm glad. I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into all that greatness, how do you feel right now?
Ah. Well, I mean, whew, where do you even start? So I'm a dad. I'm a dad now. This is the craziest thing. Like what I've man, it's unexplainable. It's unimaginable. I have my 7 week old daughter who I just had behind me, but my wife came and took her. Because I was like, I don't know if she's gonna be in the interview or not, but she, she is amazing, and it's just like my entire life has and is still changing every second of every day. Like, if you would have told me 5 years ago, because yeah, COVID happened less than 5 years ago. So if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would have had my own manga and a daughter and been married, I'd have like shut the fuck up. I've been like within the 5 years, like when people talk about their 5 year plan, I literally made a manga, got a company, got married, had a daughter within 5 years. That's crazy.
It's a lot.
It's crazy.
It's a lot. But it's a lot of blessings, a lot of greatness.
Mm.
All within 5 years. Within within all the negativity that's been going on in the world, within the pandemic and people losing their jobs and losing lives and everything, there's also been a lot of blessings. Thank God for that. And having a child, it definitely brings a change into a person
100%.
of how you
1000%.
of how you want to approach life, how you want to go. It even gives you this energy of really wanting to go ahead and do better, even though, for most of you, we truly shouldn't need that, but that's what that child brings. It does. Those little goals that we wanted, they become major, and we go so hard, and I know that feeling. I know that feeling that you have right now. I know
Yeah.
that feeling.
Hey, I mean, look, don't let me share steal all the glory. You, Mr. Man, you just had a big life event. You just hit a milestone. Talk about that. Let me know about that. How was that? How does it feel? Let me know
um,
how's it going?
So, for most people that don't know, Um, I've gotten married recently. This is my second marriage. This is my second marriage. I've been asked plenty of times, um, what's the difference between this marriage and my first one? And what I say is that it's pure. It's something that
Mm.
I know that I wanted from the very beginning. Um, I call it compared to my last, where there was a lot of circumstances in it that made me go that route with marriage. But this one was different. It was amazing. It was great. What we did was real small and personal. You know, we did it at the courthouse and everything. We had some friends. My boy Carlos was a witness and a photographer.
Hey,
Um,
Los.
I call it and my mom was there, the kids were there, and one of her friends were there. We're gonna have a nice dinner party as well. But this was just small for us. We didn't want to wait for the ceremony and the reception, the big one, because we want that as well. We never had that the first time because she's been married before.
Mm.
We never had that the first time, that nice the wedding dress and all that other stuff, and your peoples and your fams. We want that this time around, but we're also going to be smart with how we go with things, right?
Right.
So, we wanted to get married, so we got married, and then we're working on bigger things as a home, owning property and everything, and then we're going to lead to the ceremony. But I'm happy. I'm at a different space in my life than I've been. I could tell you within the 5 years as well. Um, yeah, a lot has happened. I feel like in the beginning of these past 5 to 6 years, a little more, I was at the bottom of it all, and
Mm-hmm.
now I've leveled up each year so far, and I can't complain. I love it. I love it. Hey,
That's how you do it.
hey, I'm gonna tell you what's a cool fact. We are both married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And both our wives have the same first name.
Yo, that's right. I forgot. Yo, greatness. That's how you know. That's how you know it's
is
greatness.
is 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 greatness.
Yes.
But I could tell she brings light to your life as is your daughters and such as mine, and I think we're both blessed to have the type of women that we have in our life,
Amen.
that support us,
Mm.
that are there for us, and I can't think of anything bigger than that when you have a partner that's willing to support your dreams and your goals,
Mm.
in every way. And she's done that a lot for me. So, and I know yours has done it as well. So, um, ladies, we're thankful for your love and your patience and your support,
Oh,
for a fact. Um,
facts.
um, yes. So, just I know having a child has been very busy for you.
Oh, crazy.
I know it's been crazy. Um, I know it's been fun. I tell you this now, just um, having the 9-year-old, and then being with Joanna having a 15-year-old. Her son's older.
Mm-hmm.
It gets crazier. It's fun. I tell you this now. I tell I tell
I
people
can
I tell people all the time. It's fun. I wouldn't know from having a daughter, but just I
yeah.
know it, just watching them grow. It gets crazier. It gets a little frustrating, but it's also just amazing to see. And
Yeah.
as we go along through our lives, I can't wait to every time. I can't wait to be talking to you, telling me all different things. I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. He's gonna
Oh,
feel
trust me.
it.
I used to see when you and your son were watching anime together. I'm like, yo, I want that.
And all that was very what's the best way to put it? All that was very just organic. It was just natural. It was by itself. I never truly
Yeah.
forced anything. I
Right.
never same thing with the video games that he played. It's just the thing is he just saw me play, and he picked up on his own thing. I mean, matter of fact, all he's ever seen me play was like RPG games. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
A little bit of action games here and there, but he's a Fortnite, Call of Duty player.
Oh yeah.
I'm nowhere near that. That's not my
Yeah.
thing. But I love that
Yeah.
I love that everything that I've done was never forceful. Who he is. Um, and I just love that the mannerisms and the disciplinary stuff that we put is something that he does follow. But I love that he has he's his own person.
Yeah.
He may look like me. He may say, "Oh man, he do certain things like you," But I'm like, yo, that's a person of his own. I
Yeah.
my influences are very little, and but the
You
ones,
never know. You never know.
no,
But he's still developing.
but the ones that matter is the ones that care about. Now I want to go back because a lot of people that will watch this. Well, no, I want to go back to people like a backstory. I met you while working at GameStop, and then we just all happen to have the same friends as it will, especially when you work in the mall. Everyone knows each
Yeah.
other.
At mall GameStop, they made a meme about me with that. Like they made literally a meme with a black guy with dreads, and they were like, "This guy worked at GameStop or some shit." I was like, "That's not funny," but
Oh
it is.
man, those days, those days. I grew,
Yeah.
I and my thing is, at those times, did you ever knew that you wanted to create something like this as a manga or be in that type of field, or this is something that's happened later on in life? The idea of the want of creating manga.
I mean, I've always wanted to be involved with video games and animation and cartoons. You know, we've been doing it since we were children, and it's been my one love. Like especially growing up a nerd. We obviously weren't popular back then, but now apparently we're the shit. So and
Definitely.
that's what they say. That's what social media says. So, but I've always loved to create things. Like I remember specifically, like when I used to draw as a kid, I necessarily didn't want to be an artist, but I just knew that I liked drawing. So it was a skill that I picked up along the way. And I mean, amongst my other many skills and playing video games and actually just growing into an adult, it was I had a lot of different experiences. So I will definitely say that I never thought about launching my own business LLC type deal, but I know that I've wanted to be in this field. I've always wanted to be in this field, but I've obviously, Florida, South Florida and Gainesville, where I'm living right now, never really presented a lot of opportunities to be in that field. I had a game testing uh, job where I was a QA tester for Trendy Games, the creators of Dungeon Defenders, is what
Okay.
the name was. Um, so I had that job, and that was fun, but it doesn't pay well. Any QA knows it doesn't pay well, so it's like a job for like high schoolers or college freshmen, which is fine. But as you get older and your needs grow, you need more money.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, you always gonna need more money. So I just want to be in this field and want more money. It's tough. It's tough, especially if you didn't get a specific skill set. So, like I said, I used to draw, but that I like did computers and then I did competitive gaming. So, like, I have all these things, and I'm like, how do these things get me a job in this field? And after doing all the research, like even on my website, I consider myself a 2D 3D generalist, which means like I know how to create in like mostly anything 2D, the pipeline from beginning to end, anything 3D, the pipeline from beginning to end. But I might not be the specific person that has the set of skills that is hands on with it, but I know what it needs to be and what it does not need to be.
Okay.
So that is how I ended up recently. I mean, and like to answer the question, this all started when COVID hit because, and I mean, my opinion personally, nobody is no flourish on anyone else, but like for a creative, and I feel like for most people who had trouble figuring out what they wanted to do with their life, I feel like if you did not do it during COVID, then you're probably not going to do it. And that's not like a slight at anybody because COVID. I mean, technically, I can't even say that really because COVID was different for everybody. My wife never stopped working during COVID.
That's yeah. I never did either. I had to work.
Yeah, yeah. See, so a lot of people didn't start. So I'm only talking from my experience, which is kind of ignorant in fact. Um, but during COVID, I literally got paid to stay home, and with that time and that money, obviously to feed myself and my family, that's when I was like, I now have time to refine all of the skills that I have to actually decide what I want to do with my life because, who knew how long COVID was going to last back then. So I was like, I took that money, I didn't spend it on cars or shoes. Like I'm 34 years old, and me and my wife, we share a car. I did not go buy a car. I did not buy all these excessive things. I was like, I'm going to use this money to fuel my dreams and my wants so that at the end of it, I can be on top of where I want to be,
No, definitely.
which which is where I am at right now. So yeah, I definitely always wanted to be in this field, but I never I didn't think about owning something until COVID is the answer.
Definitely. No, and to go back to what you said about with the whole COVID thing, if um basically like if you didn't want to do nothing or start something by then, you definitely don't know what you wanted to do. That could be the case for some because a lot of people truly didn't work, and you had the time to really sit back and think about like, yo, what else should I do with myself, and what else should I do with my life, especially for people that were in jobs that they were very unhappy with.
Yeah.
So I see what you mean from that perspective. I personally didn't stop working. I was working at UPS. I did lose my second job because I had two jobs, but I still was at UPS. And but even that, which is itself, which is becoming an issue. And I remember having to move back home because of things in Orlando wasn't working out,
Mm-hmm.
and we all got stimulus checks and we all stuff like that. So I remember and I remember, Joanna could testify. I remember when I came down, I ain't worked for like about a month or so. I kind of just chilled and looked for no jobs. I relaxed. Um, me and Joanna went out plenty of times because she had like half days because she worked in the medical field, so it was just like the way at
Mm-hmm.
that time it was working. And but I had plenty of conversations with her and plenty of things to do, and then even myself, I started like I got bored first of all, so I did get a job because I got bored at being home, every day doing nothing. But I also started looking at what I truly want to do, in the sense of professionally, long time words, and then my goals. So like something like this. If this works, it works out. If it doesn't, at least I could say, hey, I attempted something that I wanted to do,
That's right.
and I
That's
sat
right.
down and I buckled down, and I think the time of COVID for a lot of people didn't work. I think a lot of people it gave time to rethink their values in life and everything. And then you got others who took that PP loan and now they're getting arrested. So they,
Wow.
they
True.
they
True.
bought everything in the world.
Oh man.
So now so you did move to Gainesville. Did you go to school up there?
I did. I went to school. I went to school when I first got here, but then I did not finish because I decided that I did not want to be a high school or middle school math teacher, which literally, actually, yeah, if anything, from about like from like I want to say like probably like eighth grade, because my eighth grade math or geometry teacher had such an impact on me that most of my entire life I wanted to be a math teacher for kids to change to maybe hopefully inflict the same type of thing upon them. And then I got to college, learned a lot about teaching, and decided against it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually work around kids. I I I,
Okay.
I work IT at a high school. Um,
Yep.
it's it's different. It's different. I didn't know how I was gonna like it. And it's one of those things where it's just like I'm in my position. I'm not really interacting like with the kids like that in the sense of um, what is it, in the sense of like a dean and assistant principals and so forth and so on, and guidance counselors and everything. They come to us when the devices are not working, needs a quick restart, or we need to check them out of the device or whatever. And there's some that just come because some kids need to get away from all that, and they sit down, and it's interesting to hear students talk, and it's interesting to hear how when they're around their friends, at least teenagers these days, it's interesting to hear, and it's there's a lot of guidance that's needed out here in this world right now. I tell you that
Right.
much. Uh, our youth. they're hurting
Mm.
in many ways, and I think it's just because there's just so much in front of them, in the sense of their phones, the social medias, the things that you can find online, the influences that's online that leads into the friends, and I feel that there's so much pressure onto these kids, way more than when we were kids.
Hmm.
For us, we didn't have all that much pressure. I mean, phones were just starting to come up as we were leaving,
Correct.
high school, and I think now it's just everything is out in the open, and yeah, our kids definitely need help. They're following the culture that's not theirs. You know, you got kids who are not from a bad home or from a bad place, and but that's all they see on their social media, so they all want to pretend to be something they're not.
Oh man.
You got kids believing that the only way out of how, you know, out of their perspective of how they could live is either through music or sports, you know, but they're not
Mhm.
being told, hey, you don't have to be the rapper or the singer. You could be the producer. You could be the engineer. You know what I mean? Like they're not showing different avenues. The same thing with sports. They're not showing how you could be in sports medicine and the
Yeah.
coach and health. And so they're not
Yeah.
showing the different aspects. They're just being told like these two things. And, you know, and I'm not saying it's all teachers and it's all schools and whatever the case is, because I don't want to put it all on them, because it also comes back home to us as parents.
Mhm.
But what a lot of our kids are getting is, with all the information out there, they're getting very little of how to go out there and live. So they think it's either this way or that way. Not that there's like many paths or many roads to that one to the goals up there. So, um, yeah. So it's kind of interesting to hear you say that you wanted to be a math teacher, just for you could give that same type of love, like or just a type of will of what you got when you was a kid.
Mhm.
And hey, you're still you're still in position to uplift and become like
Oh,
a beacon of some sort for the kids, you know, in the neighborhoods. Just like that one creator in Japan, I forgot the black dude's name.
are you talking about Isom?
Yeah,
Or not Isom?
is it?
Is it? It starts with an I.
I'd have no idea how to. I totally forgot his name.
I want to say it's. Oh yeah, no, his last name is Isom. Okay, yeah, so it is. Yeah, his last name is Isom. Arthel Isom.
Okay, okay.
Yep,
I think like
Arthel Isom.
you had the chance just like him to become this beacon of like, hey, it doesn't have to do this. You could do this. You know, there's other avenues and things that you love and support, because I tell you this, anime and video games has become a very commercial thing now.
Oh, super,
Everyone loves it.
super commercial.
Everyone
Super.
loves
It,
it.
it makes it even more important because I I hit this plateau, this breaking wall where like I can't consume very I can't platonically consume very average anime or manga anymore. Like I need it to be I need it to be different. And so whenever and it's and a lot of it mainly it's like off the top. Like number one thing, if I don't see diversity in the main characters, if I don't see diversity on the front page, I'm not picking it up. I'm not picking it up. Like, and someone's got to tell me, like, I mean, even if honestly, some people are telling me like, oh, this anime is good, you got to watch it. It's funny. This anime is good. You got to, I'm like, if I see it and I can't quickly skim and see some type of diversity, then I'm gonna assume yes, it might be funny, yes, it might be good, but like, I don't have time. I don't have time because I'm trying to produce what I want to see.
Now, by diversity, are you also are you talking about more cultures than just the simple colored white people and not actual colored people?
But I'm talking. I want to
Oh,
do it all.
you want
Like
it all?
I want all types of diversity, all types of representation.
Okay.
And I'm talking about BIPOC. I'm talking about LGBT. Like and like I want to represent, especially the. I mean, those are two big. Those are two big factions that I definitely want to represent because those people are very I say those people. We we are very rarely seen. um, in this genre. And I know that a lot of people talk about like even they're like, when did anime being a nerd or a geek, when did that become popular? And like most things, especially in America, in the West, it's because black people made it popular. It's because black people made it fun. People back they take things that and like I don't know. I wish I could tell people. I try to remember because I don't know when my point of I'm a nerd and people kind of like put me in this corner and that's kind of unfair to I don't give a shit. Where I was just like, I'm a represent me. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna watch my anime. I'm a Naruto run through the hallways, and I don't care because I'm having fun and I'm enjoying it. Like something like that's when you become who you are. You don't when you don't care about social standards of what everybody else thinks, then that's when you really win. Like I recently got to hang out with my dad, um, and one of the things that he told me that literally, I mean, I've been for the past couple weekends, I've had some family things, but I've been doing a lot of crying. But so like I feel like I feel like I cried probably 20 times in the past like 2 weeks.
You want to let go all the
But
emotions you have held in, you know.
I have bro, I've never been more emotional. Seeing my hanging out with my family, having a daughter, like bro, I'm just all over the place. I literally think someone said if you have a daughter, men become more emotional. It's just you just do, like you just start crying all the time. But he said that you might not be financially rich, but you're rich in every other aspect. My dad said that to me, and bro, I literally had to walk away from it. I was like, I like went somewhere and cried in the corner for like 20 minutes because I just didn't want to cry in front of my dad. But
And that's because you heard that from your dad, right? Because
right,
and it's something that you never expected to hear from your dad, correct?
did not couldn't even fathom, didn't unwarranted. Wasn't like a speech leading up to it. He just
But
came out with it.
that's him acknowledging your growth, right?
Yeah.
Um, you no longer being just the son that was just running around nerdy and doing all this crazy stuff, but now you
Hmm.
being a man, a husband, a father, a provider, but also uh, chasing those goals and those dreams, like of what you used to run around and be crazy and watch and act funny of. Now it's something that just uh, I pray that it will be financially wealthy for you, that it could come to you, and then the fact that you're able to enjoy life and not be financially rich, what people would love to be, all the time, but the fact
Hmm.
that you are rich in every aspect of your life, it's something that a father has to acknowledge sooner or later. It's cool to be tough, but after a while you gotta look and be like, damn, hey, my kid doing it right now. Yeah, my kid's doing it right now. I do want to continue that, but I want to take it back to where you talk about where you got to a place where you were like in this corner and no longer giving a fuck about what people think about you, right?
Right.
So, uh, 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 I've been there, and I've um, there was always a select group of people that knew how much I loved the video games or how much I loved cartoons and all that other stuff, and there was always a group of people that I just kept that side away from me always. And when I was in high school, and it was after high school where I kind of just disappeared from everyone and was just like this lone wolf, just lonely old Felix, just in his house and just working, and in his house and just working. That I realized, yo, I can't do this thing of like I'm gonna be this person with that person, but then be this person with that person. I gotta be me, 100% of the time. And I noticed the amount of friends that left and came with me being who I am, with me
Mm.
showing that I love this, that I love anime, and it might be weird to others, but it ain't weird to me. I mean, it's not weird now. Everybody loves it, right? But like that time, it was like you was looked at like it was just weird. You're a grown ass man that loves anime, but it's just like yo, y'all talking about cartoons. Like y'all
Yeah.
some grown folks that watch cartoons.
Uh,
There's really no difference except that this animes got some life lessons in them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
and
plenty,
and
plenty.
and you know, sometimes it could be not for kids. It's more for adults and be catered to adults. But more it came into video games. My love for video games, I was able just to show it. You know what I mean? And especially working at GameStop, it was just a thing like, yo, fuck it, like. Man, I love me some RPGs. I don't care if you don't understand this shit or not. Man. You
Yeah.
know, like and I think at that time, you know, within our age group, because we not far apart, and then within our age group, I think we're the ones that kind of broke that mold of like, you know what, fuck this, I love this, it is what it is, I don't care, you know, I don't care just because I grew up in the hood, I got some hood friends that I can't enjoy this, you know what I'm saying? I think we broke that mold because let's be real, we are friends from everywhere.
Mhm.
You want to call it white neighborhoods and you want to call it black neighborhoods, and then you want to take it down that basic, and we got friends from everywhere, and it's just like, yo, I'm not gonna play this switcheroo game. So I think we broke that mold, and then of course celebrities took it there and whatever the case
Yeah.
is, and
No, yeah.
but
Whatever makes them more popular.
yeah, but I think we took that and we just like, hey, we gonna do this, and we started rocking the t-shirts because it's our age group that really rocks the anime t-shirts, the Thunder Mifflin shirts,
Yeah.
and
Look, I'm so proud I'm not wearing something right now. I just trying to put something in my closet.
me as well. I got the plain old shirt. I usually got all the other
Right.
shirts here, but we broke that mold and stuff, and I'm happy for it because I love to see where the gaming industry is at. I love to see where the manga industry is at. I love to see where the anime industry is at because it's really available fast now for us. Out here in the West, we getting things really quick for us, and I love how much of that has inspired people to jump within this realm, get in within the realm somehow in some way, regardless if it's you know, streaming or doing reaction videos or all this. I love the fact that when you truly look up skits like, you know, like I would say like RDC World and them boys, right?
Mhm.
Like when you get to see our representation out there doing these things. I'm like, yo, that's us when we was young, just not on camera, just not on camera, but
Literally,
that's us.
literally.
And I love to see these young boys come up and these young girls come up and actually do that, represent us and do the cosplay and and go to all the cons, which we're gonna talk about you with that too as well.
Yeah.
And but then I love to see us older and like you um double down on that even more. Be like, look, this is not going nowhere. This is the if you think we just started, if you think this is just a trend or something, it's not. This is gonna last forever, and then we're gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna be more of us um in that industry, more representation of us in that industry, which I love, which I love.